Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Hek'ma Harrison, DeMontre Moore, and Newy Scruggs.
Players Lounge time. Let's ride. We're in the SWBC podcast studio in Frisco, Texas, headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys. Got Hek'ma Harrison in the house. Trey Moore in the house. Former Texas A&M Aggie and Dallas Cowboy. I am merely Newy Scruggs to help facilitate the conversation here, and our show is brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. We will start with yesterday's events here at the Star. 7-7.
7-7.
Officially called it a career, and when he walked in the building, he looked like a Greek god.
Yes, sir.
He could still play.
He's
looking good. Looking good.
Still got it.
So I will start with you, former Cowboy player, 14-year career. Jerry Jones says he will go into the Cowboys Ring of Honor. Jerry says he looks forward to him joining him in Canton in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Your thoughts?
He better go in the Ring of Honor. No questions asked. Like, hands down, this goes without saying. Arguably, probably, no, he is the best offensive lineman that I have ever had the privilege of going against and going to war with. Playing against him, one, he's a physical specimen within himself, just being that big and being fluid on his feet. It's like he's playing basketball at offensive tackle. And then to see the type of technician that he is, like, I'll never forget the first day that I walked in here, and during training camp, I'm like, okay, let me go in here, show them, like, hey, I'm here. Like, I'm ready to rush. I win the first rep, beat the next guy, and then he's like, oh, okay, like, let me go against you. Come over here, D. Moore. Bet, say less. Go in there. Hey, I'm about to give him work. He said, oh, that was pretty good. I won, barely won, but it wasn't convincingly. That next rep, when I tell you he turned it on like Drake said, like a light switch, he said, oh, good rep. Next way, he came in there, and he did a hip lock technique where I tell you it was like a joke. He put them vice grips on me and said, boom, and all of a sudden, my top half of my body went back, but my feet were still running in place, and he's just holding me, and he's laughing. Hey, now that's a good one, he said. See, now I could turn up, and I'm like, and that just goes to show you what type of technician this man was. Like, man, hats off to that guy. Like, he earned every bit of it, and first ballot Hall of Famer. No off-the-field issues, great leader, and even better player and played at such a high caliber level. Like you said, he could still be playing right now if he wants to. He chooses to walk away, and that in this game is such a rarity for you to play that long and say, hey, I'm getting off this horse, but there's still some left in the tank. So hats off to him. No better way of doing it.
You know, for me as an analyst, I don't care on any level. It's like you get a guy like Tyron Smith to come into the league, get an opportunity to watch him play. You see how special he was from the moment he stepped onto the field, from the moment he was taken. He was one of those guys that was straight off the bus, as you were talking about last week, straight off the bus, and he made an immediate impact. It's, to me, what was unfortunate about him in the latter part of his career is when you see the great ones have to not finish their career in total here. So going to the Jets and seeing him in that is like, that's the last thing you want to see for Tyron. But, man, a class act, and a guy that handled himself on and off the field that I will always be grateful for those kinds of players, the guys that are not only assets in the community, but a guy that puts it on the line when he's on the field. I think for all Cowboy fans that, you know, saw the press conference, it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. You see, you know, it was the untimely retirement of Travis Frederick, now Zach Martin, and now Tyron Smith. And I don't know, man. It's like your favorite sitcom or your favorite show saying we're not coming back. You know, it's like it's the end of an era. And I think for the time that we had, those guys that, you know, and I think about them through, and I think about them through those guys together. I don't just think about Tyron by himself, and that's just one of those things that you're gonna always say, what if for those guys, and you know, I'm sure, you know, I don't have, for all the guys that have votes on Hall of Fame and things like that, first ballot. He put in the work. He put in the time. He was just that dominant. No, like you said, his footwork, his hands. Everyone that's ever had anything to say about Tyron Smith, it's been how dominant he was and how he was able to sit out there on an island. As my man Nate Newton always says, the hardest position to play in football, other than cornerback and quarterback, is the left tackle position, to be able to lock down one of the best, pass rushers that's out there on the field. And man, I am going to be forever grateful to him. And I just want to say this for all the big guys that's out there. What are you eating? What is it? How are you that big and look that proportion? I mean, that man came in there with the vest on, with the pants, and I'm like, dude, this man, he could go today. But man, I will always remember the physical specimen that Tyron Smith was, is, and always has been.
So, Trey, you're telling me he didn't talk a lot of trash. He was silent when he went about his business.
He was the silent giant, and that was, to be honest with you, he was the Andrew Luck of offensive tackles. Like he didn't talk trash. He was very nice, and then he even complimented you when you got him. But then like that next play, it was, oh, I'm gonna learn from that, and that shows his craftsmanship. And when he beats you, it's just like. Like, it was expected. I knew this. Like, oh, that will never, ever happen again. And it's not in an arrogant way. It's not cocky. It was just, he was just nice. And it was like, man, like, of course I could talk trash to you, but he would literally laugh it off and then be like, oh, I'll get you next play. And so for those type of guys, it's really hard for me, I'm a big avid trash talker. Like that's in my game. I'm gonna do it. And so when you talk trash to him and then he just hit you with the, oh, that's good, or after the game, hey man, you did this good, it's like, man, I feel so bad. Like, you're such a great guy. But you don't get those opportunities to beat him that often for you to even brag or even have that moment over you, because when you put up such a great body of work, it's like, it's there. Like, it's an essence. It's a certain je ne sais quoi that he had to where it's like, I'm that guy, and I earned the right to be that guy. And like you said, he still can go out here. You telling me right now, I guarantee you there's plenty of teams out there saying, hey, big fella, you sure you want to retire? Like, we know you want to go back there, but, like, come out here and please play. And so that's why I say, like, for him to walk off, the only thing that is missing from his resume is that big dance, that big ring. And like you said, when you think about him, you think about Travis Frederick, you think about
Zach
Martin. Like, these guys, it's like the Great Wall, and it's like, I'm happy that you played as long as you did. I'm glad that you get to come back in here, first ballot Hall of Famer. But it's certain guys that deserve that ring. He's one of those guys where you're like, you need that ring because just of who the player he is.
So I talked to DeMarcus Ware afterwards, and DeMarcus Ware, another Cowboy great who left and played somewhere else at the end of his career, went to Denver, won a Super Bowl. And I said, you're seeing this again, another one of your teammates, great teammate, with Hall of Fame resume, didn't get to play in the Super Bowl, didn't get to play in a championship game. How tough is it? And he went into that and just explained how, because he got the ring. He said, man, it's hard. It is hard knowing that you didn't get that. And I was fortunate enough to be on the field in San Francisco and interview D. Ware after he won that Super Bowl and seeing the emotions and everything that he had in there. And for these guys to walk away, and Zach Martin even spoke to it as well, man, it's disappointing. It is very disappointing. And so I ask you guys this question. Is it on the players? Or are we talking about management here? Because you're talking about, here's Zach Martin gone. Hall of Famer. Arguably one of the 5 best guards to ever play in the National Football League.
No lies,
that
though.
Dominant.
Yeah.
Travis Frederick, the numbers that they were able to put up with an Ezekiel Elliott there. I mean, no Super Bowl appearances at all. And that roster where, D. Ware, because D. Ware was here. He was the guy helping groom Tyron Smith when he got here. Yeah. We're talking about a collection of serious talent that they had that provided no fruit.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm gonna jump it off. You have to go with management. Like it's the hard sell, because don't give me. think about the list of names that you just named. All those guys are Hall of Famers, all on one team. Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, D. Ware at one point in time, Jason Witten, Zeke. Like, it's either management or coaching, but you have the players there. Eventually you have to get the scheme and you got to run it. Like, yes, I know players have to play and this and that, but eventually you got to put the system together. You got to bring the gel and the glue. It all has to be cohesive and go together. And you telling me that many intricate parts, you couldn't even sniff a championship for those guys? Like, it's disappointing. And so for me, yeah, I'm going to go with management.
Well, look, I'm going to trust what you say because you've been a part of teams that have made a run towards the Super Bowl, made it close the deal, but you know what it takes to be on those teams, to understand, to get through that playoff run, and to also reach that point. For them to never have gotten to that point, to me, shows how the balance of being healthy in the NFL, how it plays into guys being able to go to a Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl, because you're beat up down the stretch. And I think you take that for granted as a Cowboy fan, and Cowboy fans have no empathy for excuses these days, period. But at the same time, it's like, even with those great teams, they didn't play their best when they needed to be at their best. Mm-hmm. And you could put it on management. You could put it on coaching. You could put it on all these things. But if you have the nucleus of teams and talent that you think can get to that level and they don't, the onus sits with the players. It sits with the players, and you say, guys, you have to be bigger and better at these moments, because those are when champions are crowned. And that's just I think you could say, hey, management, coaching didn't give them enough, but what team is loaded at every position? And I think for as long as the Cowboys have had those guys, you would have thought, especially the 2016 of all the years, when you get that running back, go back to the catch that all of those things play into why the Cowboys didn't reach the NFC Championship, maybe didn't reach a Super Bowl. And so it's being at your best when it's required.
I mean, this is true, and I love it. I love when you talk like that, because, yes, it is being at your best, and, yes, as a player, you do got to make those plays, Dez with the catch, all this type of stuff. Like, there's always an opportunity for a player to do this and do that, but just like they tell us when we go on film, the game doesn't come down to one play. It doesn't come down to this and that. Can one play change the game? Sure, but I can show you a list of things that happened beforehand. And back to you alluding to me being a part of those teams that have made deep runs in the playoffs and being a part of the San Francisco going to the Super Bowl. Yes, great players play, but the injury bugs happen everywhere.
Yes.
That year that we went and Seth Friends went to the Super Bowl, you had guys like me. You had the Solomon Thomases. You had the Ronnie Blairs that were coming off the bench, like no-name guys that were becoming household name. Travarius Moore, in the DB. And so I say this to say that players are going to step up, but you have to have somebody to lead you. You have to have that ship. Schematically, whatever it is, if you're putting people in unorganized situation, like that year when we were in San Fran, you had a Kyle Shanahan that was over there leading and coming out with different ways to make the offense and include everybody. Yeah. You had a guy like Robert Saleh that was your defensive coordinator that had a great scheme, but then he also put other great coaches around him, Chris Cassari, to motivate the players to say, hey, it's not just one, it's on all. Let everybody go. And so that's why I say it's higher up as far as coaching and management.
So let me add this then. Jason Garrett was a head coach when they drafted Tyron Smith.
Yes.
And so a lot of those guys spent some of their primes with Jason Garrett as the head coach. Mm-hmm. You pointed to Kyle Shanahan and how he put people in proper positions. Are you saying Jason Garrett is where we should be looking at here?
Hey, put that pressure over 22 court press. Let me switch it up. Are you going to say that you feel that Jason Garrett is the same level of coach that Kyle Shanahan is? His resume.
I've been on record many times to say that I thought Jason Garrett's tenure was a failure.
And I will agree with you on that.
And I thought there was too much talent that was here that they didn't get enough. I thought the 3 straight 8-8 seasons that he had should have been enough that he never got another one, but he got another one and he got 12-4. The 2016 game against the Green Bay Packers, you're the number 1 seed, you're at home.
Yep.
It came out flat. And then they finally got back in the game. Dak Prescott went toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers, played just as good a game, and was 4th and 26 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a
Crazy.
4th and forever.
Yeah.
And he hits A-Rod hits Jared Cook. I was on the sidelines when he hit, like, oh my gosh, he just completed that.
Yeah.
And the Packers go win the game. These are opportunities of failure. And I talked to one coach who said, we failed collectively. We failed as coaches. We failed as a team, because he said you don't get that many opportunities in this league when you're a 1 seed like that, and the road is there for you. And a lot of people forget the 2 seed that year who went to the Super Bowl was Dan Quinn's Atlanta Falcons.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Who almost won it.
So
I think that it is, and here's why I'll say it's the players. Because sometimes you're going to have those great players who can overcome the coaching, or the coach draws up the play, but the player's just that good. You know?
Yeah.
You know, on a 4th and 26, and Barry Church, unfortunately,
He's not here.
To tell you
I was
what
about to
happened
say.
on that play.
Because he was there.
Exactly.
And
so Barry,
tell
we
you
need to
exactly
step up.
who was where, the player who didn't make the play they needed to. And that's why I go, you can't have this many good players. And management drafted those players.
Yeah, management, and that's what I'm saying. At some point in time, they all have to hit on all cylinders in that front, from management to head coaching to players. We all have to believe and do something, because guess what? The players are not going to always hit, just like the coaches aren't going to always hit.
Yeah.
And then management is not going to always hit. And that's where it all comes there. So, yes, that year they had management bringing in the players. That year, you had the players doing what they're doing. Top offense, number 1 seed. It's the coaching. Like, you can't say, hey, it's the players and this and that, because if you have a coach that says he comes in there, this team, no way in hell was supposed to make it to the playoffs, you're going to be like, oh, well, guess what? Management needs to do better with giving the coach more tools and stuff like that. That's never been the problem. So when you say players have to outplay that stuff, like, eventually, like you said, when you get injured, you have to be properly motivated. You have to, sometimes you do need a rah-rah guy. You need a guy, you need a leader amongst men.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a leader amongst men, guess what? You're wasting tools and fuels.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Belichick says a player's game. And I think
It
about
is.
Philadelphia, who made some coaching changes, but Saquon Barkley sure enough covered up a whole lot of stuff.
And you know, that's it. So that's
Kellen,
right.
Kellen, I look at
you
Kellen
can go down
and I'm like, Kellen, Saquon Barkley.
Man. Okay, you know what?
Covered
Maybe
warts.
I'm biased. because I'm a player.
It covered a lot of warts. Some of those same mistakes that you saw in San Diego. I mean, for the Chargers, you didn't see those mistakes. But boy, what a difference a Saquon Barkley makes. What a difference what a difference a playmaker makes. And look, I think you're all in the same boat, and nobody's wrong here. I just feel like when it comes down to championship, no one that coach made the difference. It's players and plays that make the difference. And look, even going back to the Atlanta game, I think the Atlanta game would be classic mismanagement in coaching. The Atlanta Super Bowl. Look, Shanahan, all you had to do was run the ball.
The man's had 3 times he's been in the Super Bowl.
And so those are the rare times. Those are the rare times that you go back and go.
How's it rare? If it's proven time and time again that, don't get me wrong, players, yes, they can make these games, and like you said, nobody's wrong, but me being a former player, I'm going to be biased and say, yes, players can have the ability to do that. But a coach can make or break the game by calling the wrong play, doing the wrong thing, messing up the momentum. Super Bowl, Pete Carroll and them.
Boom. That's a classic.
That's a great coach that made a mistake. Those moments. He corrected his wrong years later. But I mean, like, this is what I'm saying. Yes, as much as it is the player, you have to have a great coach that's going to motivate you, or you have to have somebody in the front office that say, hey, I believe in you as a player. If you need to play outside the system, do whatever you need to do to go win this game. As a coach, if you sitting over here and you say, hey, you're scared, management wants us to play this playing style and this and that, I need you to go do that, then guess what? As a player, you're going to say, let me go do that. But if you have to worry about certain things like that, then guess what? You can't. If I got a Lamborghini, if I ain't putting the right gas in there, guess what? It's still gonna run, and it's gonna be a Lambo. But eventually, that Lambo gonna shut down. Yeah. Give me the right gas that's gonna help me there, because guess what? I have the body, I have the mechanics, but you have to come help me.
But so what you're saying is a little bit what Greg Popovich of the Spurs talked about. He said, "My job as a coach is to make sure I don't lose the game. I can't lose it for you."
Hey, and Shanahan has a few of those associated with him.
He's got 3.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, get on my
pin the tail where it needs to be. And so that's what I'm saying. We're talking about one particular coach that has made these errors in big championship moments.
When it's come to those games, I mean, he hurt the play. He wasn't where they needed to be. And unfortunately, in that first one, when they were up 10 and he decides to stop running and puts the ball in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands to win it, brother, that's malpractice right there. That's malpractice.
Tom Brady said, "Hold my beer."
Hey, relax.
I'll be right back.
The Chiefs players said, "Hey, man, thank goodness he stopped running." Because
Patrick Mahomes, hold my beer.
So, in Atlanta, when they was after Julio makes the crazy catch and they just need to just run the clock and kick a field goal, that was Shanahan. And afterwards, he's like, well, we've been attacking team all year long and we want to still attack. And you're just saying, brother, this is a Super Bowl. What happened all year long is not today.
Yeah.
This was not what was needed today. So, yes, but when we look, to me, overall, you've had a number of seasons with those great players. You had numbers of seasons,
but you have more players and you have more opportunities. So of course it's going to be like, oh yeah, you had time and time again for a player to show up and be the Superman, but you only have one head coach. You only got one defensive coordinator. So you only have one play call that could potentially mess that up. So as much as we're going to point out these flaws in players, what's the probability of it? If we break it down and do this, I'm telling you, ratio, I would like to say it's more comparable than you think it is as far as putting it player to coach.
Trey Moore, Hek'ma Harrison, I'm Newy Scruggs. We got to get a break in here.
Drop the ball.
Guys, I got PTSD.
Players that have been mocked to the Cowboys so far in the first round. Let's dive into that next right here on the Players Line, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming on DallasCowboys.com.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
Dallas Cowboys Game Day is brought to you by Captain Morgan, the official spiced rum of the NFL. The NFL season is full of legendary tales on and off the field. And when you follow the captain within you, stories become stuff of legends. So gather your crew and visit followthecaptain.com to begin your adventure. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company, New York, New York.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Raising Cane's presents the other rules of football. Rule 1, any broadcast without the express edition of cook-to-order Cane's chicken fingers is prohibited. Rule 12, no crinkle-cut fries, Texas toast, or craveable Cane sauce constitutes an illegal formation. And Rule 31, anybody who loves to feed their game face is an eligible receiver of Cane's. When it comes to winning game day, Cane's rules. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love. Go Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The first ever Lone Star Smokeout is coming to Arlington. Watch headliners John Party, Cody Jinks, Midland, and more at this 3-day outdoor country music festival. Plus, enjoy barbecue from some of the best pit masters in the country. Get your tickets today at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium.
All right, Hek'ma Harrison, we appreciate you in the Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. Hek'ma Harrison, we got Trey Moore, former Texas A&M Aggie, former Dallas Cowboy. And haunted San Francisco 49ers.
I'm trying to tell you.
Why you got to show me like that? I got happy again. I see my Aggie brother on the cover of the draft page, and you just. Yes, I got PTSD since y'all want to keep
Bring it up old stuff.
I got a nice conference championship ring that some people don't even have.
That's right. Hey, man.
More than most. So
better believe it.
Why don't you wear it?
I do. On my speaking engagement.
Bring it in next week.
Don't worry. I
Bring
will.
it in.
I will. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got something that somebody else ain't got.
Hey.
It don't even matter. I'm leaving.
I like to see that. I don't
like Denzel said. I'm from
Ron
around the way.
Jaworski used to wear his
Conference championship.
1980.
Proud.
I will.
Threw 3 picks to Rod Martin.
Don't care. I was there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Nah, show it to us, man.
Read my book.
Show me.
Bring it up.
Hey, like I said, there's some players that can't show you.
But I
can. Bring it in. Show and tell next week.
I got you.
I mean, you were there.
Love to see it. So great work over at DallasCowboys.com. Make sure you check out their articles. And they recently gathered together mock drafts that what people are saying and who they're projecting to the Cowboys at 12. So anyway, I'll just bring up some names here and give me your thoughts. So
drop them.
Pro Football Focus, Jordan Pulcher is giving the Cowboys Ted McMillan, wide receiver from Arizona. And he says, 6'4", 219 pounds, McMillan has a vastly different body type and skill set from CeeDee Lamb and would provide Dak Prescott with a big body threat on the outside while Lamb does his damage in the slot. McMillan is also a run-after-the-catch threat, having tallied 29 forced missed tackles in 2024. Hek'ma, thoughts?
Look, I've told you where I feel about 12 and where the Cowboys should go, and I'm not. T-Mac is a great player. He's 6'4". The kid can run. Hey, look, catch radius is crazy for him. Do we need a number 2 wide receiver? Betcha we do. Absolutely we do. We need a guy that can couple with that we could put with CeeDee Lamb that could be that difference maker when 3rd and 8 is there and the defense is rolling coverage towards 88. Can he be your Mike Evans? You know, I mean, we've seen what that kind of frame can do for a team.
He knows,
of course, right? I mean, he know this is the kind of player that the comp that you get for him. But as we've talked about on this show, dog, that's just one hole in the boat that you're filling. You got multiple other holes that you have to fill. And my thing is, again, you're not wrong if you go there. I just feel like your quarterback would be better served if he could be better protected and if he had a better running game.
All right, Trey, Ted McMillan at 12 here.
Ted is a nice choice. Like you said, if you get a Mike Evans type of player, yes, of course. But no, that's not the pick for this offense. This is not the pick for this team. The head coach that you have put here is a run-first dominant guy. You brought in the offensive coach. You brought in the offensive lineman. Like, give him the tools to properly succeed. At that pick, if you have a great running back that is going to be a difference maker out there, you go get him because you still don't have that. Dak has shown that he has been most successful when he has had a decent running back. So imagine if you go get him that big guy or go get him an old lineman. But no.
So Maurice Jones-Drew, NFL.com, says Matthew Golden from Texas. The Texas wide receiver, reliable hands, and can be a yard-after-the-catch monster at the next level thanks to his tremendous speed. Golden, who is a primarily player in the slot in college, could pair with CeeDee Lamb as a downfield playmaker for Dak Prescott. So I'm assuming the same thing?
No.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
If you're going to go wide receiver, you go with the first pick.
All right. Ryan Wilson of CBS says Tyler Booker, offensive guard, Alabama. And he says it's hard to think that Booker has flown under the radar given his physical presence and dominating style of play. But now that we're officially in the draft season, expect Booker to pick up speed. All right.
Booker's a dog, a road grader. And a guy that's coming out of the SEC, you know what they do. They run the ball. And up front, I think right now with where you are on your depth chart, you've brought in some guys. But I don't look, you lose to Zach Martin. And to me, there's a big question mark over that right guard position. And guys in camp, OTAs are going to have to battle it out to see who actually gets that position. If you go into the draft and you get an offensive lineman, I would not be mad at that pick. I know a lot of people that would be ticked off about that pick, but I wouldn't be mad at that pick.
I would love it. If you go, at this point in time, history has shown that the Cowboys do not miss on their first round offensive lineman like that.
Well, let's.
Okay, let me slow it down.
And
the ones that I'm talking about, the ones that I'm talking about in my era, recently, but in my era, like
not last year.
No.
Let's not go that far back.
Hey, we ain't gotta go there. But okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna retract that statement. But historically speaking, like I said, those guys that are coming in, like when one animal goes down on this offensive line, one trench monster, there's always that other guy that comes in. From you had Tyron Smith to Travis Frederick, from Travis Frederick to Zach Martin. Who's going to be that guy? And so, can I say that him coming from the SEC, being a dog in the trenches, and in this run heavy offensive minded scheme, he has the potential to set it up. So for me, I love it.
All right. Mike Cameron, Pro Football Focus, says Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State. Says Dallas is in need of a playmaker all over on offense, and they have a choice here between Matthew Golden and Tyler Warren. They would be well served to nab either. Warren is a unique playmaker who would unlock the offense. With Jake Ferguson on the roster and in a contract year, Dallas can become more versatile in their offense after running one of the lowest rates of 12 personnel last year in the NFL.
I'm just going to say that I don't trust myself with my assessment of tight ends in this league, and I'm going to take myself out of this conversation.
Why you don't like it?
Hey, Ferguson to me was on the cusp of having a breakout year. I coined the name Ferg Kittle Kelsey. My man was about to have a breakout year. Don't you laugh. Don't you laugh because you had a fullback going to the Pro Bowl. You're in that boat with me. Don't you do it. But
go to the book.
No, I'm tight end. If they went tight end in the first round, that wouldn't be a good look.
It's not a good look for them. But somebody, I do like this. I like the guy.
Okay.
I think he gives me that Gronk feeling. Like to watch him in the bowl game and him take off and like have that nastiness that he has, catching it and stuff like that. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be mad if the Cowboys went and got him. Like he gives me a Witten type feel. Like he is a gadget guy that does everything. Like he was out there punishing people, like blocking. Man, I don't know. I kind of like that.
Wow. I think whoever gets this young man, I think will be happy. Okay.
Definitely.
Like the Brock Bowers kid from Georgia. I got to watch him in that national championship game. This dude was a baller there, and he
still is.
Yes,
sir.
It's just that guy can play. This kid,
he can play.
It can play like that.
I just don't.
I'm just saying, if that
if that happened, I wouldn't be mad with the coach that we have and they put in there. I wouldn't be mad because now you picked up a blocker and on top of that,
with all the needs that you have, if you come on now, hey, let's just keep it real.
If Genty is gone, all right,
yes,
I'm gonna. If Genty is gone, I get a blocker and I get a weapon. If I'm gonna go offensive side, yes.
Do you look at the tight end position for the Cowboys and you say there's a need at the tight end position amongst all the other groups?
Here's what I'll hit you with. This would be the equivalent of taking CeeDee Lamb while you had Amari Cooper on the roster if you took Tyler Warren.
Okay. I won't argue with that.
To say, you know what? We got a guy, but you a really good guy. And we're not going to pass on a really good guy who could help us, which when they wanted to move on from Amari Cooper, they were able to move CeeDee Lamb in. Tyler Warren could be that kind of player.
At the time that you got CeeDee Lamb, did you have as many holes that this team has right now?
You were able to take CeeDee Lamb because you were a lot better off.
Yes.
I'll say, okay, and I come into this. Do you think Tyler Warren could be a blue chip player? And if you think you could have a blue chip player at that position,
yes,
then you got to do it. You mentioned George Kittle.
Yeah, I did.
George Kittle, as you well know, George Kittle, really good football player.
That man
gives you a lot of options and things to do on offense. This is an upgrade at your position. as far as tight end goes.
What? And he looked like he enjoys it. Like, most people don't enjoy all three phases, like you said. George, like, not stepping on your toes, but George enjoys that. When George goes out there and get that pancake, he's going to have the same excitement that he has when he get that catch and does that. This guy, when I watched him play in college, it was like, yo, he just loved dominating somebody. If it's I'm catching it and running through your face, or if it's over there, come run behind me. I got you. Boom.
Oh, man.
Luke
Schoonmaker much. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Scooney did not play at the level. Let's make sure.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You said you were staying out of this conversation.
Trying.
Just take the divots.
Pro Football Focus lines up Luther Burton, the third wide receiver from Missouri, and they say Luther is an ideal 5'2" multi-sport athlete for the receiver position in the NFL. First-round talent is well-rounded as they come, displaying the ability of success at the receiver spot in any offense. So we've already mentioned that before, so we're down on that. Okay. So and then the other positions there's another person saying Matthew Golden. So anyway, right now a lot of people projecting the Cowboys to take a wide receiver at 12, and it's just a matter of, do you want Ted McMillan, if he's there, big guy, big catch radius, speedster in Matthew Golden. You hear Luther Burton right here of Missouri. And then, of course, if you wanted to say, hey, let's go with the tight end. But they're talking about a pass catcher giving Dak Prescott more weapons, because last year it was CD and the maybes, and that includes the tight end position as well. They did not help the quarterback out.
Yeah, there's no argument to that. And I think in that wide receiver room, with all the whispers of them taking a wide receiver at 12, a lot of guys should be feeling like they're on the hot seat. The names that were drafted, guys that have been here for a minute, that should feel like, look, this is a make-or-break type of year. I just feel like when it comes down to 12 and the type of talent that you can get, and I said it last week, you're going to have some guys fall to you that may be one of those players that is that blue chip player that you're looking for. Emeka Buka from Ohio State. There are guys that wide receivers outside of that top names that we've been listing that are really quality as well, that you may be able to get in some later rounds. I don't want to forget about that either.
Right, and I'll say this, we go to break. The kid from Ohio State you mentioned, is a really good player.
Yes.
May not be a first-round grade. Mm-hmm. Do you take him and pass on, let's say, Tyler Warren, a first-round graded tight end? Is that what you want to do? No. This is the conference. Like CeeDee Lamb was a first-round graded. Hey, let's go get the guy. The tackle you took last year was not a first-round graded guy. You took a chance on a project.
You did. You reached on that.
And so therein lies that thing of, okay, do we take a blue chip guy who's a first round dude, and that you want this pick to count. You don't want to be talking about your first round pick next year like you're talking about last year's first round pick right now, saying, what would
guys
go. So anyway,
he's still shooting at me for that first round pick.
No,
historically being good.
No, it was a conversation we had yesterday on the Media Mash. This is a young man who's got a lot of answers, and people are wondering, what did we do, and how do you go back and make sure it's not something that you do again?
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break here. We come back, our final segment right here on the Players Lounge. It's brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming on DallasCowboys.com.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take a steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're maxing out overhead presses, pushing through chest flies, or being the hero your golden retriever needs to carry them over that scary bridge, Smoothie King has the fuel to help you go all out. Build muscle and boost your recovery with 45 grams of protein, 0 grams of added sugar, and delicious customizable ingredients in the Gladiator Smoothie. Available in chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Only at Smoothie King.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Meaty Mash right here from the
Players Lounge.
We're back.
He did it again.
Meaty Mash yesterday.
You got to start
Players
doing 10 push-ups when you do that.
Do it right now.
Yeah, you got to get right there. Because I know you've been going to Lifetime. I know you got them in you. Just as soon as you do it, just take your headphones off, and we'll continue to show when you get finished.
This is what your brother. This is what your brothers got you for. Do your thing.
Coach Heck out here passing out.
Give me 10 up downs
right now.
It's hot,
man.
Sort of Cowboy-related news. Deion Sanders, head coach of the Colorado.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 2 players that are expected to go in the first round: Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter and his son Shedeur Sanders at quarterback. And they're going to they announced that they're going to retire both the jerseys, and that became a hot topic in Colorado. And it's been something people have buzzed about here. I think if a guy wins a Heisman Trophy, I think that should be automatic that you would retire that jersey at any university.
Yeah, of course.
Any university.
It's a credit to the university.
It is.
It is. So Travis Hunter,
you have an argument.
There's no pushback. There's no pushback. There are people who are pushing back on Shedeur Sanders. And as I said to somebody, the head coach clearly is pushing this, and he feels that the player is a player's number who should be retired. And people immediately who are Colorado Buffalo fans point out Cordell Stewart. I've been on that campus and been in the facility, and they have many pictures of Cordell Stewart. Cordell Stewart was a heck of a good football player.
Crazy good player.
Heck of a good football player at Colorado. So go ahead, Trey Moore. Your thoughts, man. You played at Texas A&M, but they've retired numbers and guys like Johnny Manziel. So
I'm gonna catch this real quick. No. That is horrible. That is a disrespect. As a player, really I am like, no disrespect to him. You are a first-round pick. You've earned that credit. But as the school, when you think about retiring somebody's number, like, bruh, I worked too hard. You just got here. 13-12. What have you done to win? Like, what is there? Like, you cannot. As a former player, I'm going to be hot. Like me, my legacy's pretty good at A&M. I like it. I like where I stand. I feel like I'm top 10 in records and leaving in the time frame that I did. But do I think my number should be retired at A&M? H to the double hockey sticks, no. And there's other guys, like, are you the top in your position there? These numbers, like, putting in the credit. You were only there for 1 year, and what did you do? I mean, not 1 year. 2. You were there for 2 years. You were there for 2 years, and what did you do? Like, you didn't win a national championship. Like, you don't have the credibility.
Did win a bowl game.
Like,
did not win a bowl game.
Did win a bowl game. What are we talking about? And retiring your number? Like, I'm all for nepotism, but this is too much. Like, that is a disrespect to the lineage of that football program and everybody that is there. And like you said, for the guys that deserve for their numbers to be retired and not retired, you wouldn't catch me at the school again. Until my number was retired, I would want an apology or something, because I'm feeling disrespected as a player. To get your number retired, Lamar Jackson just got his number retired. And look at what he's done. We're talking about somebody that has not been at the school that long and hasn't done anything on that other level. Like, what? Travis Hunter, you have a debate. You won the Heisman, so this and that. And so if I'm Travis Hunter, I understand that's my brother, but you're bringing down my legacy with getting my number retired because we're attached. This is not a duffel program. Do not do that to me.
Look, there are players that I absolutely love that I will defend to the death, but this is one of those decisions that I absolutely can't. I mean, you look at the record, and there are times where you say, man, a guy is too little too late, not, maybe the guy's passed on and then he gets his number retired. Yeah, this is iffy. This is iffy. I back Deion on a lot of his decisions, but this is one where I say, look, man, you should have made sure that certain elements were already in before you did this one. And, going back to the Big 8, I saw that Colorado Buffalo team up close and personal, and I can tell you, Cordell Stewart wasn't to be played with. Rashad Salam wasn't to be played with. Westbrook. I mean, that was one heck of a team that won a national championship. So, I have a
Man, stop sugarcoating it.
I have to. I have to sugarcoat.
It's your job in the media right now. This is a new day and age in media. Be truthful.
Yeah, I am.
If that's your truth, then
it is. I'm
looking at you as a friend.
And my truth is simply that is a hard one to pass over the alumni and former players at Colorado. And I'm like you. I would have a problem with that.
Thank you. That's all. Like I said, I'm a passionate guy. Don't disrespect them guys.
Rashad Salam, his number 19 retired. He amassed 24 touchdowns, helped Colorado to an 11-1 record. His jersey retirement was announced before the 2017 season. It went into effect that season, and he was ended up being honored with and it was a Pac-12 game between the Buffaloes and the California Bears. And Rashad Salam is fantastic player, but look how long it took for him.
Yeah, outstanding.
And so what I don't know, and I'll just make sure I say, I don't know what the parameters are and what the criteria is. North Carolina, if you're a player of the year, you get that opportunity in basketball. They'll retire your player of the year, multiple All-American. I mean, they've got they've got standards of what they do. And so here would be the question to ask. What is the standard and what are the regulars? Especially if Salam had to wait this long and he won the Heisman. What's the standard? And once again, the head coach can come in and say, well, this is what I want to do and this is what we're going to do it. And clearly he has. But it's been interesting. And college football interesting.
And that's why I said, let me apologize to the young man. The player as a whole, that is a tremendous honor. No slack to you. With them doing that, be honored with that. But as the fan, the people on the outside looking in, what he said, I only knock him down the ones that I get. He knocking down what he got, but at the same token, like when it's all said and done, do you feel like, hey, I really earned the right for my jersey to be retired, or was that something that was bought?
At Jackson State, definitely.
Yes, Jackson State, yes, for sure. Without a question. There, yes. CU, no.
So, so according to Chris Beam here, Alfred Williams, Eric Bieniemy, Darian Hagan, who's a great quarterback there, Cordell Stewart, they have not had their numbers retired, and that has been brought up.
Eric Bieniemy was cold.
Was EB like that? What? I'm sorry, put me on game. That's why I'm asking. Hey, excuse my ignorance.
Hey, man.
So he was cold as a player and cold as a coach like this.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
This is what I'm talking about.
It took me years to get used to seeing Eric Bieniemy as a coach. The Eric Bieniemy, I remember, all black number one.
Bro,
Eric Bieniemy.
Y'all about to make me go look up his highlights.
Oh, dog. Insane.
He's really good.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
insane.
All right, we got to go.
Hey, man. Hey.
The show's flown by. Fun stuff today.
It was.
Hek'ma Harrison. Appreciate you. Trey Moore. Thank you much. I'm Newy Scruggs for Chris Beam, Jazz, Joshy, everybody who makes it here happen. We'll talk to you next week on Giraffe Day. Next Thursday. Week away. This is Dallas Cowboys.
10 push-ups with Newy.
Get your popcorn ready.
Hey, this has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?